Hello. Today there is some cleaning motivation, just going through the whole house because everything is a bit messy and I don't want to limit myself to one area today. And then I thought to myself, I'll start in the kitchen and then, if all goes well, I'll work my way through the whole house. I want to have it completely tidy again. This video is meant as motivation to inspire you to tidy up your space. I will go ahead and start. Let's start in the kitchen. There isn't much to do here. It's actually quite tidy everywhere in the house. And that's a good thing because it means I can really get the whole house done today. I have to say, I did the last 3 rooms upstairs the next day, so not everything in one day, but I have summarized it for you in a video, showing that the whole house is cleaned. I have really used the kitchen machine quite frequently in the last few days. For this and that, everything for baking. Not really that often for cooking. It's a shame because she can cook well too. But unfortunately, I am not very familiar with it yet. I am not very practiced at cooking with it either. I already cook relatively little, and then with a kitchen machine. In any case, the machine needs to be cleaned again. There was still quite a bit left from the last few days, and so it can be cleanly returned to the pantry now because I probably won't need it in the next few days. I always try to put the kettle down in the drawer, simply because I like having the countertop clear, even though I use the kettle every day and make a hot water bottle for myself. The kids also want a hot water bottle every day. Then I just take it out again. Yes, but I do that more on a whim. Sometimes I just leave it there. Then I don't care either. But when I really want it to be nice and tidy and put in extra effort, I also put the kettle away, because I just like it when this whole countertop is clear. The coffee machine is still not there. But do you know what is back? My new camera? Well, actually, my old camera that was broken. That means, starting next week, I will be able to film again with my normal camera. Everything has been filmed on my phone until now. I don't really know if you can see any difference or anything, but in any case, it will be back to normal again. And I can record normally again as usual. I'm looking forward to having the camera back. But it's also quite nice to see the kitchen without the coffee machine, to see how it is without the coffee machine. Because it really is a device that takes up quite a bit of space. And because of that, I am enjoying it right now. I also don't miss any coffee. I am also far from being dependent on coffee or anything like that. I really enjoy coffee, but I don't actually need it. With Patrick, it's a bit worse, but he is managing well now too. It's somehow nice to see that one isn't so addicted or dependent on coffee. I don't know, because I drink a couple of cups daily, and I don't know when it becomes addictive. I don't have headaches or anything like that. I believe that a cup of coffee, and sometimes even none at all, is not really enough. So now both surfaces in the kitchen are done, cleaned, everything is tidy, everything is empty, and the magnets on the refrigerator are still used a lot by us because we are currently orienting ourselves a lot by them and always look for the magnets to decide what we want to eat, usually 2 or 3 items, but mostly just 2 items because with 3 items it becomes too much planned in advance. That's why we made burgers and lasagna here, for example, and it just worked out so well. We then went shopping for the 2 things. We made 2 things to eat. And yes, it's really good to plan more like that again and not have to think last minute during the day about what we are going to eat. And then you are already hungry and haven't gone shopping yet, which is always annoying. Since we have a few flies at home again, I don't know what's going on. The windows here in the kitchen are always really dirty, and all sorts of things keep splattering on them, from the sink and so on. That's why it's actually the window that I have to clean the most often. But isn't it beautiful how the sun is shining in right now? I just find it so lovely. I love it when the sun shines in autumn. You appreciate it so much more when it does. And that's it for the kitchen. So here I am now finished. I will show you the entire overview of the ground floor as soon as I'm done with it. Now, let's first take care of the living room. It actually looks the worst here. And that made me think a bit because I realized that when so many toys are lying on the floor, it has really been looking like this regularly. Now I'm grabbing my vacuum cleaner for the couch, and afterwards I'll do the rest of the living room. Yes, since it has often looked like this lately, I thought to myself that there is basically something wrong with the things that are lying around. There are just too many things. when the kids are just not able to put things back, and most of the time it's the youngest one who takes the basket with all the small parts in it and tips it over, that's completely okay, but she just isn't able to clean it up. And then there are things from the cupboard, along with those many colorful little pieces, and then it just becomes the case that something has to go again. It's simply too much for what is lying there to even come into being. For today, I have really decided to just create order and clean, but not to sort and put things away right now. I will do that on another occasion, but not now. Now I'm just trying to get everything somewhat orderly back into the cabinet, into the basket, and I've already thought a bit about what might be thrown away. This here is now the playhouse of my youngest, which she received as a gift for her birthday, and which she so loved. I have shown it to you here in a bit more detail because I just find it so beautiful. All the little wooden pieces, and then the figures that go with them. All family members are included. Mom, Dad, children, Grandma, Grandpa, and she can play out all the stories. Simply really nice. And in the end, of course, vacuuming is done again. Yes, once here under the cabinet, all sorts of things always end up there. And then, of course, the carpet. For that, I really prefer the Miele vacuum cleaner. It works really well on carpets. The Vorwerk does too, but with the Vorwerk it always requires a bit more effort to take it out and plug it in. Then I don't even know if the battery is full. The Miele has its own charging spot, but the Vorwerk does not. So this is more of a matter of how I need to plan properly at home. It also needs its own power outlet for charging. That's why I don't use the Vorwerk, not because it's bad or anything, but because the Miele is always charged since it has its own charging station at home. But I thought to myself, since I really have a lot of devices at home now, that I would make a video about which device I find best for where. So I simply use the advantages of the devices as I assess them best. And that we just do a complete house cleaning with all my devices, and I can explain exactly why I use which device where. And then everyone can do it, because not everyone has parquet, for example, not everyone. Whether to choose high carpets or low carpets or whatever. And that one might be able to best assess what is better. Because the question is Dyson, Vorwerk or Bissell better? You can't really say that in general. Not at all. I can only tell you that all the devices I still have at home are really, really good. So if they were somehow bad, I would want to get rid of them. Or you just wouldn't see me using the device at all, and I currently use almost everything, as I said, except for the Vorwerk. But that's more of a charging station problem. It has nothing to do with the Vorwerk itself. I just have so many devices that I can use something else that is already charged. So it's really silly, actually. I need to take care of that. But that might be a video where I really show all the devices in use again, and then simply explain why I now choose, for example, for the stairs. I use a Dyson and not the Miele as it fails there. So I considered that because the question often comes up, is this or that better? And then I can simply, yes, maybe show you that. Better, explain it, or it explains itself. Yes, yeah. Often I tidy up and clean an area and then immediately vacuum the floor. And here I have done it today, really tidied up the entire ground floor first. And that was the last step. So, the last step is to mop the floor completely here on the ground floor. Just look at what a nice brown sauce has come out. But I have seen it much worse before. So this was really still within reason, and I noticed the door when I brought it back. It was really dirty. So, if you take a closer look at the splashes and stains, some of which are from the cat food down by the door, not so high up, it was definitely worth taking a closer look at it. And to clean from top to bottom, however, I didn't clean all the doors for that reason, I just saw that one. And it was really the dirtiest. And then I really only did this one door, simply because I wouldn't have wanted everything to be so nicely clean and then leave the door like that. I wouldn't have managed that either. And since we have latex paint on the walls, I just scrubbed really well at the cat food area here as well. And that's it for the ground floor. It looks so nice now. So when you come in, that's the view into the living room and the dining room. You can already see a few footprints on the carpet again, but how else could it be? On the table there are a few nice flowers, and the kitchen is as clear as it can be. It lacks a bit of fruit. That's the only thing I still have to criticize. But otherwise, we are also ignoring the terrace out there. This is only about the inside. Yes, everything else is ready again. What is on the stairs, I will take up with me anyway when I continue upstairs. So everything down here is done. Completed. So, how does it look upstairs? Well, the condition up there is like this. Let's go through the rooms. In the bathroom there is quite a bit lying around, and not only is it just lying there, it is also really dirty. It really needs to be cleaned. Then, in the laundry room, there is stuff lying around. Yes, finished laundry. There's enough dirty laundry here. It's even hanging over the door. In the children's rooms, it's really okay. So, it's really not that bad. Here again is dry laundry on the dresser. There is simply always a lot that gets left here. And in the bedroom, the bed really needs to be changed again urgently. I did it last week as well. I really do it every Friday. So for you, it's Friday. For me, it's somehow a few days earlier now. Just completely freshen up the bed again. And yes, it's very, very important and nice for me to have a fresh bed. But now let's first start here in the hallway. I usually start in the hallway because I can't walk through the chaos here every time and tidy up the individual rooms. I don't like that, so I start here in the hallway. That's also done super, super quickly. Basically, it's just clearing off the dresser and then maybe wiping it down again. I did that, of course, simply because it gets dusty here in the hallway really quickly. Well, everyone is waving around all sorts of things. So, a lot of laundry goes through and... well, then maybe it's just a matter of picking up a few things off the floor so that the dressing up box can be used. It's just one of those phases again. It's not always the case, but right now they are really into it. Well, of course, Halloween and all. They are really enjoying dressing up. Then we have a few clothes to hang up, and after that it's just vacuuming, and then the hallway will be completely done. I'm not doing the laundry completely here now, everything that comes up, but really I prefer to focus on the individual areas up here. So that means everything that is just in the hallway for laundry, I will do that now. And later in the laundry room. That will come afterwards. This is actually my favorite room up here. But I really have to say, since our laundry room has been beautifully redone, I'll link the video below where we did the makeover. Since it has turned out so nice, I love this space and enjoy using it so much. It makes such a difference. The motivation to keep things organized in the cabinets and on the shelves is so much higher. Everything has its nice place, and I also don't allow anything else to come into this room. So, regarding the idea of putting things here and there, no, everything in my laundry room is so well planned. Nothing extra is stored there, like tools or anything that doesn't have a specific place. And that's why the order is maintained so nicely there. In the cabinets also, on the right, we have the 3 shelves above the laundry dryer. And in the boxes, there is only what was originally planned. One box is even still empty. That one is really for the case that I might think of something else that would be useful, something I would like to have readily available. But otherwise, as long as I don't have anything urgent for it now, everything stays so nicely empty. And yes, our laundry rod is just practical, because we can hang our things there. We also don't have an additional drying rack, as that is often asked. We once had one on the terrace, but I have to say I never really brought the laundry down. I always just hung it up here or put it in the dryer. But carrying it down, carrying it back up, I forgot it. You get it. So, exactly. That's why I eventually said, here, who needs a laundry basket? And it was gone in no time on eBay. Laundry basket, drying rack. Yes, I still have 2 laundry baskets. So here, even the plant is being dusted. It's tidying up. And I'm cleaning the large surfaces, roughly. You can see I'm not lifting everything up individually, only when necessary. The small carpet here is actually always quite cozy when you stand there somehow, and I don't know. Well, it's nice and warm on the feet, but I mean, well, we have it, and it fits best in terms of color in the room now. Otherwise, I would also put it in the bathroom, but this works fine as it is, and it's quite practical and nice, so I will just put it back there once everything is nicely vacuumed. And just when you stand there and somehow select special medications or prepare something, it is nice to have a small carpet under your feet. Yes, then I washed 2 of my wool sweaters here, and I really wash them very, very carefully, always cold 600 spins, and then, as well as I can, of course, together but still separately. I use the laundry detergent for that, but I make sure that I can wash pink and purple together now. Otherwise, I have 2 whites still in the washing machine. Otherwise, it's done separately, and this is how it looks finished, at least in the room. Then, we will also move directly to the next room. so we can manage that today on the first day as well. All the laundry that is now done, which I have folded and taken down from the laundry basket, is just sitting here on top of the chest of drawers. I don't let myself get distracted and put it away right away because I prefer to really take my time. When I'm in that room and then organize it, I have more or less put together my autumn wardrobe soon. So I have all the bags of the things that I just didn't. So the ones that were too warm for summer, I went through everything again and took out what is now usable for winter and sorted it into the closets. And therefore the chest of drawers is now really very well filled again. I have also sorted out a few summer clothes, but there aren't that many items. And t-shirts and such are also needed in autumn and winter. Yes, I mean, there might be a few tops and shorts taken out of the closet, but that hasn't really taken up much space. Well, anyway, I'm going to make my bed completely fresh now. Oh, that was really... I mean, I don't understand how someone can't do that at least once a week. This is really just my feeling because I find the sensation of being in a fresh bed far too lovely to want to give it up and then sleep for a week in a week-old bed. I have no idea. For me, it's just so nice to sleep in a fresh bed, and I notice it in my sleep quality and in my dreams, and just generally how much I enjoy lying down in bed, going to sleep, and how refreshed I feel afterwards. I just need that feeling of freshness regularly. It has to feel completely fresh. That's why I have developed the habit of looking forward to my freshly made bed after just a few days. I simply don't like sleeping in my bed for more than a week. But if someone says they only change it every 4 weeks, then that's just how it is. I just couldn't do it. Everyone does it differently. For that, I can be a bit of a pig in other areas, but when it comes to my bed, maybe not right now. Oh, I didn't even vacuum it this time. But that was probably because it was just really late, and I was now glad to have finished the room. And yes, I also somehow wanted to finally go to sleep and get everything done and checked off. The main thing is that everything here is freshly made up and ready. I really love to take a shower, put on fresh pajamas, and then, yes, into my nice, fresh bed. This is now the beige version of the cloudy bedding. I mean, they also have it in grey, but you know, I don't really like the grey colour of our bed anyway, so when I see our bed like this now, I just really don't find it nice anymore. It's somewhat sad that tastes change like that, or that you might get tired of certain things. We also considered ordering a new bed in the meantime, but yes, at the moment it just isn't a priority, I have to say. There is still so much else to take care of, and we didn't exactly win the lottery. So, yes, for now the dining room is being completely redone. So, we are focusing on that for now. And, yes, everything is already paid for now, but of course you have to save up for a new bed first and so on. We want something decent, and you don't just buy on a whim. That's why it simply doesn't have priority at the moment, and is not on any list of things that need to be done right now. But we are very much looking forward to our new dining room. Next week the new chairs are coming, and hopefully the new table will arrive sometime this year before Christmas. It would of course be nice to have both at once, but, well, for now we'll just take one and then the other, and it will change little by little, step by step. That's just how it is. I mean, we first ordered the chairs and then the table. Yes, we just took a bit longer to decide on the table. And I really hope that it was a good decision. I am very curious, and I just hope I would really like to know how it turns out, just to be reassured and to know, okay, this is nice like this. Well, let's see. So, back to what we are actually doing here. I have this freshly washed laundry basket, and it was a colored load. And now there are all sorts of things from all the kids in here. I just vacuumed the floor. I don't think it's that bad if I sit down here on the floor and sort the things into piles. This is really easy for me. I have tried other things, but it is simply the fastest way to put things away again. So first I make these little piles, and then at least today I will take the things to the kids of the older children, and from the youngest I will tidy up the things. But from the older ones I will just take it away right away so that it doesn't lie around here anymore. But since the clothes of the smallest one belong in the hallway, I will naturally put them away here, because then I have my tidy hallway back, and now there aren't any clothes lying around again, and her things are just so quickly put away anyway. That always happens within a few seconds. And I've really noticed that since I've been filming mainly with my phone, you can always see how long the clips are. And they really are just a few, 1 minute 30. And I have accomplished so much again. and I always think to myself, it just goes by so quickly. You don't actually need as much time as you always, or as you often might think, and it was somehow nice to see that. Here, I have laid out the clothes for tomorrow for the youngest one. I love it, when everything is already prepared like that. And the other piles of clothes are now just going into the children's room. So now I'm done for the day. So what I have accomplished up here is that my bedroom is completely fresh. Currently, the kids are also somehow sleeping in this room with me. So, yes, it's just one of those phases. Here is the laundry room, also in quite good shape. Things dry. The washing machine, I don't even know if it's running right now. It actually runs almost all the time for us. And the hallway is nice again. Nothing is hanging, nothing is lying around. The floor has been vacuumed, and I think it can be left like this. New day, and now we start here in the bathroom. It is really the most urgent here, I would say. And afterwards, we will also do the children's rooms. So, that is the plan for today, and then we will have the entire house done. So, exactly, let's start with part 2. Now we are here in the bathroom. I said that this is really the most urgent room up here. Now, in comparison to the children's rooms, and that's why it was so important to me to have a really nice clean bathroom again, because you can really see it. It is high time. Just look at all the stuff lying around that isn't tidied up. And it is also still dirty. It couldn't be much worse. That's why I'm really glad that I'm dedicating myself to the bathroom first today, to make it nice and tidy again. So I have now spent about, I can't say exactly, but I believe I have tidied up downstairs for about 2 hours in total, but really calmly, without any rush and so on. And then I also spent about 2 more hours on everything upstairs. But I really cleaned the bathroom very nicely and made it clean, as well as the children's rooms. So it is quite a lot of time. If you think about it, that's 2 hours every day. But I don't do such a cleaning action every day. Instead, I have just cleaned the whole house for 2 days. On one hand, it creates such a good state that the following days require much less effort. It then becomes more about maintaining order, for as long as possible until it might eventually get out of control again. I hope that one day we can completely get a handle on it, but I know that it will happen at some point. But things have already gotten so much better for us. Therefore, I really don't want to complain at all. For the water, for the cleaning water, I am using one of those cleaning sheets again. I really like them a lot. They smell very good, dissolve well, foam a little, and I just like them. It's also so easy to use. Yes, definitely. For example, this Sunday, another vlog-like video is coming. So I just took you along with me, not over several days, but for one day. Instead, more on that day. And it's more about that, because I filmed this after the cleaning action, really to keep the order a bit and not have to do so much. And yet, it remains just as tidy the whole time, as we will see at the end of the video here. And yes, exactly. Of course, I have also taken you along with many other things, like our weeks. No, not a weekly grocery shopping. We shopped for 2 days. And yes, I have just taken you along on a few other topics. I have shared a little bit with you, and yes, just a bit. So that it's not only about household topics, but really about what else is happening around it and what else there is. So just life with the kids, or what has been occupying or annoying me lately, or what is going well right now, and so on and so forth. So that then, rather again like on Sunday. Today it's really just about cleaning here, and especially in the bathroom, where I always love to clean the fixtures. I actually enjoy doing that very much at the moment. Simply because they look so good afterwards, and I no longer have to struggle against such a thick layer of limescale, but because they are just so beautiful. And also, the bathtub, as you just saw, it really needed to be scrubbed again. And the children are currently taking baths very often. And I'm just, when I put the kids in the bathtub in the evening, oh dear, maybe I should have warned you that you can actually see what I pulled out of the drain here. Yes, so if you don't want to see that, there are a few seconds to skip ahead. It will be gone again soon. But from the drain, I thought, it was draining well, I thought, I'll pull it off. And then I had a bunch of hair in my hand. That was good. And yes, when I bathe the children in the evening, then we are in our evening ritual, and it somehow doesn't fit to clean the bathtub at that time. So it mostly just stays that way. And wiping down the fixtures after showering or bathing is something I somehow don't get to. I forget it. And somehow I just can't manage it. I then dress the children, put them to bed, And I also fall asleep, or then I do something else, and in that moment, it somehow doesn't occur to me to go back to the bathroom and wipe everything clean again. But that's why I'm here today, to get everything nice and clean. Look at how clean the fixtures are. I'm in love with clean fixtures. I do it this way too. That I have now, here I have done it like this. That I poured the rinse aid over it, but normally I do it the same way with the other things as well. That I put it on the cloth and then just wipe over it with the cloth is completely sufficient. You don't have to pour it on so generously. But basically, going over it with the rinse aid makes a huge difference in the end, whether there are still water spots on it or a bit of limescale or not. That's why I like rinse aid. I've become a big fan of it. What I also really like is the Kärcher steam cleaner. Here I have used it for the children's sink simply because it really needs to be cleaned a bit more intensively from time to time. And afterwards it always looks like new, like brand new. It's really amazing. Everything that is still stuck in there, like toothpaste residue or hard stains, so you can see how shiny the sink already is. Just go over it with the steam cleaner for a few seconds. It is really an absolute dream for the bathroom. And I use it. Absolutely. It's also one of my absolute favorite devices. Besides the milk frother, it's this steam cleaner as well. Sometimes I also use it to blast really hot water into the drain. This water vapor. That's already good. Exactly. Here again with rinse aid on top and a little dry wiping. And that's it. Then the children's sink is also really, really nice and finished. Then we do the same, of course, at the shower. So here I have already let it sit as well. Now I wipe everything down or scrub everything off, and in the end I go over it again with the rinse aid. I already have it ready in my hand. Now I first rinse it with clear water to remove all the cleaning agent, and then I go over it again with a cloth that has a bit of rinse aid on it. And so I leave it like that. I find that this always results in the best outcome. So, then of course there is still our laundry. Next to the sink and mirror, yes, there always seems to be quite a bit accumulating there. It's just like with any surface for placing things. Somehow everything ends up there. Oh, and what people often forget when cleaning are those toothbrush charging stations. Well, at least for me. And when I actually think about it at some point, it really is worth it to clean them. Some things have always accumulated there. Therefore, it was time to address that again today, and otherwise, I just like it when there is as little as possible on the surface, because when we go into the bathroom to get ready for a shower, I always take my things out of the drawer and need my space. Then my clothes are there, and my items that I want to use for showering are there. It's now about putting on makeup or getting ready in the evening, so I don't forget anything. To avoid having to constantly open and close the drawer, I take everything out together, use it, and then put it back in the drawer all at once. In the back of the cabinet is my perfume, and Patrick and I bought it at the same time. I'm missing about 2 milliliters, while his is already empty, even though his bottle is much larger than mine. You can see from this how different our perfume consumption is. I always find it quite funny, so he already has a new one again, and I think I still need about enough for mine. It will definitely last until the end of my life. By the time it's ever empty, if it ever is. Speaking of scales. In short, Patrick is still on his diet, is still very successful, and has lost a lot of weight by now. I can't really give you a specific number, but it is already over 30 kilos that he has lost. Well, yes, but unfortunately I don't know the exact details, so I don't want to say anything wrong, but it's over 30 kilos. Amazing. So he is already a new person now. Visually speaking, he is really, really, really impressive. I find it truly admirable. I don't know, I probably couldn't do something like that at all. I just think it's amazing. Yes, well, okay. In the meantime, his eating phase has started, so he is eating again. He has really started, and now he is allowed to eat 200 calories once a day. And I think this has been going on for over 2 weeks now. And then it will continue to increase. I don't know if it will be 400 calories or so, but in any case, it will keep increasing. I just washed the bathroom rug, so it just came fresh out of the laundry. It was nice and dry, ready to wander back into the bathroom, and then I placed it here nicely on the freshly cleaned floor. And with that, the bathroom here is completely finished, especially compared to before, how beautiful it has become now. So, you can bathe again, and yes, the fixtures are clean now. One can walk on the floor again without stepping on anything and use the countertop. So, it is simply nicely cleaned again. A beautifully cleaned bathroom is just nice, and one looks forward to getting ready. So, now let's get to the first of the two children's rooms. It's a bit dusty here, but it's not really that messy. As you can see, he can actually do it quite well. And I will put away some clothes and vacuum here. I ended up doing a little more here in the children's room, but not a crazy amount, so I didn't really clean deeply or anything. Deep cleaning, cleaned to the depths. But I actually always do deep cleaning. So what I discuss with you is sometimes very profound. So I have cleaned very thoroughly, you could say. Okay, yes, the clothes are put away, and yes, he has a second remote-controlled car here. He rediscovered it in the attic. That was already sorted out, as I thought it was for small children, and he is too big for that, but he finds it interesting. Well, now he has his big one and the small RC car as well. I mean, I think it's nice that he has a lot of children's toys in his children's room, and he also has space in his closet. So I just dusted off a bit here where I could reach well. Then this little table, he puts his Nintendo on it or whatever. I don't know, when he plays and has something to drink or eat with him, he just has his little table, which is quite practical. So, the desk. It's just huge and dusty. He doesn't sit there very often to do homework. It's good that he has the space and all, so I'm still very, very glad that we have the desk and that he has so much space. And he will really use it daily sooner or later. I can see it with my oldest daughter, how much she has to do and work at the desk. And she does everything. She paints, and you just need a lot of space. But at age, he doesn't need it urgently yet. That's why his laptop is always there, even though he doesn't really need it that often. He is still doing a bit of his finger exercise system, learning to type with all 10 fingers. He enjoys doing that. And he has also considered whether he should start a programming course for kids now. Something very, very simple. Like a Minecraft programming course. I think it's pretty cool to combine playing and learning a bit like that, and I believe that programming skills are never a bad thing. But only if he enjoys it and is interested in it. We are currently considering this. I am gathering information, and we will have a trial lesson to see if he wants to continue with it or not. It's a course that lasts a few months. Yes, and otherwise everything here is really very, very tidy. There is really very little lying around. So I'm just making his bed neat right now. Yes, he wants to have a thin blanket for sleeping. And yes, I always need something really thick, cozy, and usually several blankets. But people are just different. For him, it's exactly the opposite. Yes, and then we are already at vacuuming the room. He really has a very, very large, cozy carpet in his room. And I vacuum it completely once, and with that the whole room is almost vacuumed. And then we're done with that. So, the first children's room is now finished. We just have one more to go. Well, that was done quite quickly. Here, this is how it looks now. Everything is nicely wiped. Yes, the chair came back. So, in the second children's room, it looks a bit wilder, but she is also a bit younger. And of course, I help her out more. So here we actually have a bit more to do. Don't be surprised why the blanket and the pillow are not there. They played all day in the living room building a cave. And for that, of course, she needed her blanket and her pillow. The pillow for inside, the blanket for outside. And then they built a huge cave around the dining table with the chairs and lined it with sleeping spots. That is, with the cushions. And they curled up in there the whole afternoon. It was somehow quite nice. They had a lot of fun. They were occupied for a long time. and the chaos really remained manageable. Therefore, the blanket is of course still used down in the cave. I will be damned if I destroy the cave in any way. No, as long as they are really having fun with it, they can keep the cave. But of course the rest of the room is here too, yes. So a little bit, you can see that a lot of playing took place here. The clothes are nicely arranged. I always love how nice it looks. But otherwise, really everything possible has been started here. So she doesn't hold it against me that I broke the puzzle now, simply because so much has been started and played with in the room, and so that's not a problem. She can just redo the puzzle if she wants to do it again. In any case, I just put everything back a little bit. This wardrobe placed sideways here, I don't like it very much yet. It somehow doesn't seem to be arranged very well. It doesn't really have a proper system somehow. The 2 white boxes in the middle are almost empty. There are a few Barbies in there. And otherwise, for the little that's in there, I just find it too much cupboard. I think it also just looks a bit bulky. Yes, but that's just how it is at the moment. So I'm not going to look for a new cupboard or anything. I just find it not optimal right now, but you don't always have to change everything immediately when it's not 100% perfect. Maybe something will come up again eventually. Unlike my son, she uses the desk very often. She sits at the desk all day, crafting and doing various activities, and she also has a lot of craft sets. And I mean, she just had her birthday, and then she received a lot of things for crocheting and, well, just crafting. Also cards for labeling and coloring. And yes, she really has a lot of activities available, and that's why you find her, if not somehow building a cave or doing puzzles, then you find her at her desk. But so far we have tidied up her room as well as we can. You can also see on the carpet how much has been going on here. Yes, it's worth vacuuming after all. It's nice when it feels worthwhile. And this is actually the last step here in the children's room. I will soon show you the final result of the entire upper floor. Just to show that, even though I already cleaned some of the rooms yesterday and some today, everything is still looking nice and tidy. Also, of course, what we talked about yesterday. No, just that you have a complete overview again. And otherwise, when we see each other again on Sunday, there will be a bit more everyday life and more personal topics, and just a little bit of everything. What else I have to tell you? That's why. I'm of course happy if you have been a little motivated today or just entertained. Well, I quite like lying in bed and just watching others clean. I always enjoy doing that. Whether I get motivated is another matter. But the main thing is that you are doing well and enjoying your life. And then, of course, I'm looking forward to seeing you again on Sunday. Otherwise, if you need more cleaning motivation, you can find more video recommendations under the video. And until then, I'm looking forward to you, my dears. Bye.